We might be looking at a demigod. That man went absolutely nutty, buddy. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I was trying to figure out what would throw you off, and I did it.
Well, I won. It was definitely one of the most.
By the way, congratulations to Demon for graduating yesterday.
Oh, he graduated with his master's degree or his doctorate?
No,
Which one? Oh, high school. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, I thought Demon was. I'm joking. I knew Demon was young in high school. Okay, look, Demon's the young god. Okay, let's be real. Hey, congratulations to him. I know Bronny graduated too. Hey, it's good to see these Gears Pro graduate in high school. That's what we need to see, baby. Get that education. And then also be a Gears Pro too. If you can do both, you're a special breed. You're Starfruit, right? You're unique. VQ gets the first points, plus they get away with the cells. He's got the M-bar, but quickly to challenge him, it's going to be Cardia. And Cardia might capitalize. Cardia is down. Someone needs to be the hero. That's going to be Handles potentially, but his cells drops off. And I don't think he backpacked the M-bar, did he? Yes, he did. So for what it's worth, it looks like Rebel is going to be clapping back pretty hard here, and Handles will drop, and there you go. The last 30 points might go over to the way of the boys of Rebel.
Yeah, and it looks that way because Vanquish already might be rotating toward that top hill. Precision's going to pressure up onto Identives. Beautiful couple of shots onto him. Big back A. Might finish off that kill. He's going to let somebody else finish it off for him. He's going to push forward. He realizes that pushing out might lose them the close spawn for this next hill, so he's going to back on up. They need to worry about the separation. Handle gets killed out of the middle. So where Handle spawns is a big point of interest for me. He does spawn close, so they are going to continue to be able to keep their numbers advantage up at this next hill. They just need to continue to get kills, try to keep getting shots on, trying to get this point lead to possibly come back in their favor.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Closely contested game so far, still early on. Identitas on your screen, looking at two members just up ahead of him. He'll be joined by that of Crack, though, as he's going to go ahead and slide his way in to try and retake this hill in his favor. Identitas Fearless will take down Zysho. Fortunately, will lose his life in return, but regardless of getting Zysho off the map at any point in time is a great thing. His cells will drop Crack, but from the help and the heroism of Cardia, he'll get that pickup. Still, though, the hill needs to be broken, but one good thing, though, with those eliminations, it will bring them to a 4v3 just momentarily. Rebels got to use this numbers to their advantage and push in, and they are doing so. Very well done.
Now we see Zysho trying to get shots around this cubby. Finally gets the kill. I think he missed shot on that second one. I don't know if he went for a down or if he just went to try to finish off that match, but wasn't going to be able to get that kill. Cells, though, will be going down, and a beautiful kill by Demon. I mean, just runs right through somebody. Love that next kill by Demon again. Demon has gone nuts already in this match. Identitas is down. Demon's going to be right there for the revive.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, boy just graduated, man just graduated, excuse me. Now he is on fire. Look, Rebel wants to win tonight, without question. You know, I said they struggled yesterday, and they did. Look, they lost to Hive. They lost 3-0. Granted, Hive's been on fire, but let's not forget, let's put respect on Rebel's name. They still started off today in 3rd place in the standings, okay? Now they have moved up to 2nd as E-United drops below them. But regardless, though, Latin America dominates the #1 and #2 spot. And I know Rebel isn't going to let that go easily. They want to beat VQ and maintain and be one of the top-level teams out there. And honestly, they could very well be. And they have shown great progress, I think, across this split. You know, there was a lot of questions during that that preseason talk, right? Identitas, is he going to stay? Is he not? I don't know, but clearly he has, and Rebel has been performing just as well as they were, whatever they were obviously playing in Split 2 Phase 2, and obviously in that Spring Major. And that's what I want to, that's what I need to see from Rebel. I love their Spring Major performance, and I want to see that replicated.
Identitas, I love the flashes. They get a lot of damage onto his cells early. They're just pressuring up onto him. Precision is trying to rotate over. Handles is found to kill somewhere else on the map, which is going to give them a man advantage in this fight. I think about 20 seconds left on this hill, so you might be able to get some good time out of it, extend that lead to maybe 40 points, but they're rotating off of it very quickly. They know that next hill is this back top here by the M-bar. Precision bouncing up into this area, trying to find the flank, trying to find the area to be able to look straight down on these players from Rebel. Beautiful 2 shots by Zysho to kill Identitas. That will shut down this next retake pretty quickly.
All right, shuts it down momentarily, but who's going to be able to win this hill? Now it's still going to be hotly contested. Cells, though, the man who whispered in your ear, is clearly looking to pop off. Well done.
Change the wording of that. Go on ahead, Taylor. I see you, dog.
I'm trying to like casually drop in the Snoop Dogg song. Hey, little mama, let me whisper.
I figured you were just trying to stay away from salads.
Why you gotta do that? Let Jacob live. Hey, let Jacob. The chat's already reminded us every broadcast what Jacob said, okay? Look at
main man
VQ, though.
Clayton on Twitch. I see you, baby.
Clayton's out there. Clayton's out there for sure. Maury's too. Good shout out. Good to see you guys. VQ's taking a decent lead, man, and they're about to double the points of Rebel. So what started off hotly contested off this last hill, obviously VQ has found kind of the magic formula, if you will. They are really starting to come into their own. Demon will be pushing up. Cardi is going to be opposite of him. But overall, I mean, you got to get in that hill, VQ. Are you going to be able to do so? Well, Precision doubles back in that mid control from Rebel flawless. And they'll start to close out the steps to close out that gap. Obviously, you have to be focused on next. That's where everybody's head should be at. And for VQ, you can see on that minimap, they are rotating as quickly as they can. They're going to be met head on, though, with Rebel. These stairs are about to be really about to be bloody, brother, because they know how important this angle is. You have to lock this point through.
I actually like the way that they were able to force out the spawn in that Rose Garden for themselves, where they got a very close spawn, I believe, for Handles. And even though Handles is going to get 2v1 here in the mid-cut, it allows them to continue to pressure toward the other members of Rebel. Precision goes down, big finish by Acels, and now Crack is down. It keeps them off balance. It's going to keep them spawning across the bottom. It's going to be able to allow them to shoot into that 90 degrees. So you're going to see them try to play a little bit more defensively. Zysho just has to play back on these two players. Big bricks. He gets the down finally, but is not able to clean that kill up. And now there's going to be a 1v1 on the opposite side of the map. Demon is trying to get away with the M-bar full red, but the back A on Handles finishes him off. Beautiful job by Demon to not only win that 1v, but transfer this M-bar into this next fight.
Oh, man, Demon. Now, his teammate in front of him, he's pushing the limits, right? Because Demon pulls that trigger. You don't want to be popping your head up and become KIA, but great shot onto one, goes for the second. That's going to at least deter Handles back for a little bit. Precision continues to push up. This should be a fight won by Rebel, and it's absolutely going to be, unless Handles is going to be heroic. He tries. But all of that lead that VQ had before, the double the points I was talking about when they were fighting for mid control, right now goes over towards Rebel. They're 2 points away from retaking the lead. They're going to give up that scrap time, focus on next. And the fight just got that much more scrappy, Colin.
Well, without a doubt, because it's all tied up now. It's all squared up. Cardi is going to be waiting in the middle angle here. He's trying to find an easy pick. He's going to try to find an angle on the Zysho. Waiting in the wings sometimes pays off beautifully for a team. You could be able to sneak a couple of extra Lancer shots in. They get the down, but thankfully for Vanquish, Precision was there. But look at the pressure from Rebel in the front side of this hill. Demon and Identives pressing forward, getting a lot of damage onto the backside. Big shot by Precision, gets one down. Running straight into hell. My man drove that thing like it was Camaro on a drag strip. Boy, he went about 4.4 seconds. My God.
Camaro on a drag, my God, Precision popping off, doing exactly what he needs to do. 16 eliminations. VQ needed that. You know, again, they had a massive lead. Rebel comes back, so you need Precision to set the pace, much like Rushies did with Rise several times over. And he's not stopping there. He is looking like he wants to keep going, but I guess the story will end as Crack, the guy we focused on heading into the match, will pick up 2, and obviously that will be the hill for Rebel.
And with 35 seconds to go, that gets them the lead once again. VQ, a couple of good fights early on, gets them the initial hill points, gets them a little bit of time out of it. But they've struggled in the retake category until now. Identives with the M-bar in hand. Big back A out with a little bit of help from the middle of the map. Gets that kill, and now he's going to rotate around. He's got one teammate with him, fighting against 2 members of Vanquish. They're going to be sitting in that hill, trying to gather up as many points off of this one as possible. I think if they hold the rest of the 15, it gets them up over 200 and extends it all the way to 40.
Oof. Another close first control. We already seen it before, just a little bit earlier, right between EU and Rise. We might see much the same here between Rebel and VQ. Crack picks up Precision and a Cells. Demon will get Zysho as well. This is going to be great for Rebel for this fresh hill. It's going to be pretty much uncontested. You can see Rebel took priority to push up and meet VQ head on, not allowing them to get close, but the reinforcements are here. The fresh spawns from VQ are in, and Precision is once again going to be opposite of that of Crack, and Precision's popped off. Can he do much the same here? You got a bit of a pinch between Cardia and Co as Rebel is looking to maybe put Precision, go into Blender, but Precision opens up a door. VQ looking to take control. He just needs to get through Demon, but not going to be so lucky. Precision really tried there, Colin. He did everything he possibly could, but the reinforcements from Rebel having that spawn control, having that spawn point, the reinforcements were there way too quick, and Precision, he just couldn't battle through all of them.
That was beautiful by Precision now twice in this map to really give his team a chance in that situation. I mean, just went nutty buddy getting a kill, trying to open it up, trying to get a second and a third. Couldn't do it that second time. You see Handles, though, with an up A there, gets the kill on Cardia. Now has to worry about Crack from behind. Another kill comes through for Crack, and Identives is there on the retake. So now you see Vanquish has to play through the inside of the building. They got to set up at the hill and try to get Rebel out of there. I don't know if they're going to be able to get anything in this situation. They're going to maybe try to pick up this M-bar, but I love this. Rebel's already challenging the M-bar here. Acels is waiting in the area. The hop, the re-melee, but immediately Cardia there for the shot on. The M-bar right back into the hands of Rebel. They are dominating the second half of this map.
Yes, they definitely are, and they need to start off 1-0 over VQ, who's been on fire as of recently. Would be a huge success. Cardia takes the head off of Handles, or at least just splits them up into a million pieces. And this hill, I believe, if I remember correctly, was pretty successful for Rebel last time. I think VQ had their hands on it first, and it was Rebel who fought tooth and nail to get closer and closer, eventually to break it and gain about 20 or 30 points off of this hill alone. Obviously, this late in the game, we know these final hills make a massive difference. So, and look at how far back Identives went in that corner to take down Precision and Handles, who were just chasing him down, wanting that elimination, not getting it. And man, there it is. Very nice job. You love to see it. Rebel taking a tremendous lead. They're about to win this.
When Rebel is able to spread Vanquish out, Rebel can dominate Vanquish. Whenever Vanquish can wolfpack around, that's usually when they're starting to win these fights, starting to win some of these hills. Up over 250 points. Acels all by himself. He's going to have to win a fight against Crack, and I believe Cardia. He hits the first shot around the corner, but the M-bar there from Cardia, too much. Gets the shot on in, the kill. Now Zysho down. Cardia's done a fantastic job. Stay here for the rest of the map. Make it 270, almost 280. Rebel is about 20 to 30 seconds away from this map #1 victory and on their way to winning this matchup against Vanquish. This is a great second half for them, continuing to pressure forward. Cardia trying to find through the middle of the map. All the information he just got is priceless for his teammates. There is everything in the world now that they can rotate around. They know exactly how many have come out through the middle and how many are on the hill. Now they can set up and go for a pure retake because they know what is happening in front of them.
Player 3 is going to go through mid. Should be kept in check by player 6. That's going to be Handles. Either way, Handles might be in a 1v2 himself. Handles will drop off. It's going to better the chances of Rebel to be able to push through and really tighten that vice grip up. VQ, they're happy to get these points, close out that deficit if they can. Rebel so dangerously close to victory, but Killfeed will light up red momentarily. Identitas looking to be the hero. Last stand. Both of them rolled. This is an opportunity for Identitas, and he's going to get one. Zysho stands up. Identitas will crawl around and get at least a decap momentarily, but that play from Identitas, despite it not amounting to a crazy amount, you know, crazy value, still though, that comes to show you, take the man seriously.
They're giving up the M-bar back over to Demon. Precision picked it up right in the face of two players, trying to get it onto his back, probably trying to just get it off the map. I don't even know if he would have tried to go for any of the shots there. Big kill by Handles in the middle of the map. They need to rotate now. 18 seconds left, gets you closer to the tie ball game. But it don't do you a hill of beans if you can't break into the next hill. Rebel already set up pretty succinctly here. Acels is trying to go for the flank onto Demon. Demon is full red. He's down now. Nobody, I think, is in the area to get the revive on him. Cardia down as well. That's two big kills on that side of the map. And it opens up the ability to play a little bit of defense. Acels has got to keep his head down now. He doesn't have any kind of smoke to throw. Rebel can answer back, though. They have won the retake on this hill twice at this point in the map. Once for the M-bar, once for the hill itself. Now stacked up here. Precision with that kill in the middle of the map. If he gets another one here, that will really shut down this ability. But I love the fact that Cardia doesn't leave that fight. He goes for it, gets the kill, and now has the ability to flank through the middle of the map. They get the call out, though, and it looks like they're going to try to pinch him. Handles is on the backside. Snub out. Damage on and down. They get another kill. They now have the lead. Now Vanquish is within 20 points of winning map number 1. The pressure right back on Rebel.
The pressure is tremendous. Rebel understands this. They respect it. But they can't get anywhere close to the hill. The team fire, the Lancer fire has been peppering Rebel and not allowing them to feel comfortable. Handles finds an angle because he has been fighting mid. I want to point that out. Handles has been doing a phenomenal job fighting for mid control. And there it is. VQ completes the comeback, 100-point comeback if I'm not mistaken. And they take map number 1, Control Regency.
What a beautiful comeback. Look, kudos to both of these teams. They fought tooth and nail over every single hill. Rebel was damn near untouchable for a couple of minutes there in the middle of this map, getting a lot of points, even getting up to the lead and able to try to take advantage of it. It was all down, though, to Vanquish's over-rotation to the next hill. The flank from Acels getting the down on Demon. If he doesn't go down in that situation, they are possibly still right there, able to win this map. But with the double down, the ability to play defense, Vanquish, they wrap up map number 1, and I think it's a beautiful map number 1 that they can hang their hat on going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. Anytime that you start off a fresh series, up 1-0, you win that first control, it gives you all the confidence in the world. And I'm going to say it, I'm going to, be real with you. Heading into Tomb Execution, VQ's going to need confidence because more often than not, Rebel wins this map. They're just great on this map overall. VQ, they're no slouches either. Let's not forget, you go back a couple of weeks, they played on Tomb Execution versus Fire and Ice, and they beat them 6-0. I believe that was on broadcast. If I'm not mistaken, I was casting that, but it was a while ago. We have seen the meta kind of shift a little bit, not as much as other maps, but a little bit since then. But regardless, though, to beat Fire and Ice 6-0 on Tomb, that speaks volumes about what VQ can bring. But Rebel, they've also beat Pittsburgh Knights. I believe it was like 6-3, 6-2. So you take it for what it's worth. Both Latin American teams who should be at the top of the food chain, I know PK's had their struggles as recently, have fallen to the hands of both of these teams. So it's hard to say who's going to have the added edge here. I'm giving it to Rebel because you look at their history, they more often than not win Tomb. But then again, we go back to, what was it, Fire and Ice versus Hive? And what was it? I think it was, we were looking at the control stat line, and I think Regency was Reactor was 4-1 for Hive. Fire and Ice had only won 1-1 at that point, but Fire and Ice beat them 300-174. So again, stats aren't everything. Rebel should have the leg up statistically, but VQ's not going to let them win that easily.
They're not going to let anybody get away with anything right now. They are playing at that next echelon level. Rebel really stepped it up from last night. I'm very impressed with their play. They only lose by 24 points on that first map. Going into Tomb, this is a big differentiating story, though, because I think Tomb might favor Rebel just a little bit more. Vanquish, to me, has had some struggles playing for the snipe, playing for the frags. They kind of all of a sudden get a little mishmash. They're not able to wolf pack as much, which we saw when they were making their comebacks, when they were getting points back on the board. That's what they were able to really hang their hat on, was playing closer together, playing closer with one another, and able to get those kills. I think Rebel has a little bit of an edge maybe when you spread out the numbers and you look at just strictly individualistic talent, especially with some of the plays that guys like Cardia and Crack and Demon and Identity are able to make. They are unbelievable players.
I mean, we saw, or we highlighted Crack at the beginning, right, when we were kind of breaking down both of the rosters, and for good reason. We saw the stat lines for Crack, 23 eliminations across the board on average. When it comes to control, obviously doesn't help Rebel in this case. You need a full team effort. VQ takes the victory, but you look then down at his escalation and his execution, and you're looking at all both of those stat lines being above a 2.0 KDA, and that's impressive because, again, not only is he getting the kills, but he's also getting the assists. And assists are equally as important as kills when it comes to execution, because that means you're helping your teammates get that down, get that added damage, preserving his life while also picking up ultimately an elimination in the end as long as you get your finish. So Crack provides a lot of value. Demon as well. You put Demon in any lane. I don't care if he's in a 1v, if he's helping his teammate, 2v2 battle for the Torque Bow. He's going to be a high impact player. Identives, we saw him roll into Acels back rolls. Identives roll straight into him, from forward. Identives takes him down, and he almost takes over the hill, right? I mean, these are all high-impact players. But VQ also has a high impact players too. And Tomb is, we've talked about it, individualized, lanes, whatever, but you got to have a lot of brain power, I think, to win on Tomb. If I'm not because it seems like it's very much so based on positioning. You have to position your troops accordingly.
It's that situational awareness I talked about earlier with a guy like Crack. One of the things that really, to me, stands out on Tomb is Crack's ability to play up or down in the map. It's a very vertical map, not from the standpoint of you're looking on elevations vertically, but from top to bottom. Wherever Crack is playing, do not fear for your life because he is one of the best players on the planet right now, kind of being able to turn and help you, whether it be Lancer or Nasher, and especially playing through the mid-map where he's got kind of pillars to bounce around with. He's able to use that movement to get from point A to point B even quicker. So as smart as some teams might be to try to position themselves around those pillars or around the frags, Crack is really good at getting himself to his teammates. But I think the best player that I've seen on Tomb thus far this split, I'm not going to lie to anybody on the planet, it's Demon. I think Demon might be the best player on Tomb I have seen right now. I don't know what his exact stats are. And sometimes stats don't paint the whole picture. Sometimes you got to go into the VOD, into the VOD to see what he's able to do, what he's able to transfer around the map to help his teammate out, teammates out with. So I really look forward to this map number 2. I need to see the answer from Vanquish against Rebel. This isn't necessarily Vanquish getting to play with a lead and getting to be able to win this map number 2 and go up 2-0. This, to me, is Vanquish has to go out and take this map from Rebel.
Yeah. And I think they do. And you know what's important about this map for VQ is the fact that you have Vaskar coming up next, and I think that's going to be a toss-up. I do know VQ is very strong on Vaskar. They almost beat a United there. I know they beat Fire and Ice in the past on that map. That's a statement. I think Fire and Ice has drastically improved on Vaskar. You can see that from their performance against Hive earlier. Granted, Hive, take it for what you will, playing a bit sluggish, but still, though, to beat F&I on Vaskar is an accomplishment. So I think VQ has a very real chance to win Escalation Vaskar, but it's not as exciting or as impactful to head into Escalation Vaskar if you are, tied up 1-1. It's like, whatever, the pressure isn't really there. It is what it is, just a swing map, but you still want to win it nonetheless. But with that map being such a toss-up, I think this could be a pretty deadly map for Rebel if they do lose it. They're down 2-0 because it's not a guarantee they win Escalation Vaskar. So VQ, they're going to have to take it. They're going to have to work hard for it. But if the work does pay off and they lead 2-0, there's a chance they close out the series 3-0.
I mean, there's a big reality for that. I just don't see it going that easily for Vanquish. They're going to have to take it. They didn't get to just win that map number 1. They had to go out and take it. They had to come back. They had to over-rotate. They had to get shots onto multiple players to get kills to be able to get those wins. Or to get that win, in map number 1. We come into map number 2 again. I just look at this as the ability of Rebel in this map. I'm gonna have to be able to see. I'm gonna have to be able to see something much bigger. I would almost like to see. I'd almost like to see. How do I put this? An overload strategy on one side of the map or the other, especially because of how strong. Right. Their wolf pack has been. If you can overload, if you can get a kill quickly, if you might be able to set somebody off on their back foot, you might be able to pick up a couple of rounds early. To try to make Rebel play a little bit differently, try to make Rebel switch up their strategies. Because if you kind of go stationary against them, you might find yourself down and not really with a way out.
It's interesting. You say overload, and I'm trying to think, what side do you overload? We see more of an overload 2v2 fight for the torque bow, but then you're giving up the long shot, you're giving up the shot, you're giving up the frags. What side would you overload if you had a choice on 2?
I'd probably overload the torque side. You get the elevation to be able to shoot down, and you can kind of choke point out the other players from the remaining hills. The only time you can't really overload that side of the map is when the hill spawns right in front of
where the nades are
backwards. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
the nades are the perfect hill for you to be up top on. It's when it's on the bottom hill, because then you can't angle that out. It's way too far, and there's the gates in front of you along with that giant stone. I think it's a template or something along those lines in the middle of the map that stop you from crossing directly into the hill. But when it's up top, you have of course, you're already up there, so you already have basically a base of operations set up. And when it's at the frags, if you figure out where the choke point is, where you've maybe gotten a kill or two, or if you know that they're both playing at the hill or whoever's left is playing at the hill, you pinch in, you get shots in from both sides and shots from the top, and you're able to basically force those players into a slaughterhouse, really.
Sure.
So I think you can I think you always overload the elevation side of the map.
That's interesting. So if you overload the elevation side of the map, then you're theoretically playing for the nades and you're playing potentially for the long shot, but the long shot is just down below. The torque bow is going to be on the opposite side. So now you're giving up potentially 2 power weapons, but that's interesting because I know when we casted Challenger series, Colin, you were mentioning that there's not a lot of value being gained trying to fight on that elevated side, right? Fight for those nades. We do see value from time to time in challengers or even in pro league matches where there is a player who would prioritize pushing through the top side, getting that elevated control, maybe lancering down. We don't see that too often. A lot of times if he goes up top and he's not being challenged for nades, he'll grab the nades and then go ahead and try and get on the flank of the enemy team, which could pay dividends. I have seen that play as a high impact play. You know, that player really shines if he makes it through, if he's victorious. But that is an interesting thought. I never thought about overloading one specific side then the other because, again, you're giving up something, but I guess you have to give up something to gain something, right? It's not a fair trade. You're always going to be giving up at least one or the other. So fair enough. Let's see how this is going to be played out from the team of VQ because, again, VQ, as you said, they're the ones who have to take this map. For Rebel, they are the favorites. They really are. So Rebel is not guaranteed to win this, but I think they definitely are already off to a great start. They're starting off on the right foot. Now VQ, what are they going to do to respond back? Precision is going to be a big answer to this, by the way. He already played very well on control. He's going to be fighting for the torque bow opposite of Demon. That's a great win. You take Demon off the map, you are taking a large portion of Rebel's playstyle away.
Take a large portion of their playstyle away, and you also make sure that they don't really have the ability to. Oh, I love this angle for Precision. Hold on. Oh, never mind. He clips the corner right there. One player to worry about, active torque. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. That bolt revs up oh so quickly. That's a beautiful first round by Vanquish, if you ask me, and a good shot by Precision, actually. Even though the first one was kind of wonky, second shot was spot on right through the back of the skull.
Yeah, I mean, not bad at all. I mean, look, again, you're taking down Demon. All right, you mentioned how much of an impact player Demon is, and he is statistically. You even said he might be one of the better players on Tomb. Now, no, I'm not quoting you on that, Colin, because I don't even know myself, but I do know as far as execution stats go, Demon does have the highest KDA. He's by far, he has definitely the heaviest KD at 1.62. In total, he has 81 eliminations across the board, but off the rip, though, Crack, the impact player we talked about, heads through mid, gets an elimination, but right now it's a 2v3. Sideshow fighting for his life. I think he does get a drop. He can't double back just yet. He might have the opportunity. Here it is. It's going to be brought down to a 2v1. Identus is last up. Snipe in hand, already being Lancered. Can he make it out of this spot?
Snipe in hand. Identus is looking for a quick pick. He's looking for a headshot on somebody. He's not going to be able to pull the snub and get that down. He's just going to go for the reload, try to pick up one of those magical headshots that you see people try to come away with. Another body shot will continue to keep them pressured back. They're playing with each other, which I like. 3 more bullets for Identus. If he picks up a headshot on either one of these players, it's all tied up. 2 rounds left. Now 1. Slowly but surely goes for the hipfire headshot. Won't be able to get it. He'll bounce around. He'll go down. Vanquish go up 2-0.
He's just trying to pull off a Twitter clip right there. Yeah, I mean, while also trying to clutch up, but he was going for it. I like that. And that would have been, you talk about screaming our heads off. He hits a shot there. That would have been incredible. Crack, despite his strong start through mid, trying to take that fight. We've seen that kind of develop over time, right? Players will just head down through tree, try to get that early pick, take the opponents off guard. But for the first 2 rounds, very well done from VQ. The first round, obviously the cleanest round, but we have been seeing some good plays overall. Cells is going to try and do what Crack did before, challenge him head on early down, but great read. Good job for him to double back and kind of pace out or at least bait out Crack. But the job's not over with yet. Precision needs to be careful, and he's down. Rebel could still very much so win this. Well, I guess Cardi is last alive now. That kind of changed quickly.
And that went way to the wayside, way quicker than I think both of us expected. 3-0. I mean, Vanquish is up big already, and I'm kind of surprised at this. I mean, color me shocked.
Sorry, I thought there was gonna be more to that. So I was letting him breathe.
Trying to throw you off.
I was letting him breathe.
I want you to know when I try to throw you off, it throws you off. And when I don't try to throw you off, I throw you off, baby. I
it's
got
kind of a moment like, did I lose him? Did he mute himself like Jacob does on an accident? Was he flailing his arms? I didn't know what happened.
Jacob doesn't mute himself. It's the bear.
Oh, true. The bear is sabotaging. Fair. Hey, get rid of the bear then, okay? That's the X factor.
Have you seen how big the bear is?
He's 6'2", just about as big as me. Just about as big.
Like, I know Jacob is strong, but it's a bear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cells is going to try to hop the fence and make a miracle happen here in a 3v4. But first round on the board for Rebel. I really like the way that they played that, especially through the middle of the map. Once again, that's what I was afraid of. Rebel's ability to play through the middle of the map, shoot for one another, get kills quickly is what will win them these rounds. They have to stick to that game plan. Winning the power weapons isn't necessarily their best friend.
And we see that from, multiple maps, right? Power weapons, fighting form sometimes isn't the best play to make. Canals being obviously an exception to that. Torque bow just not the one you want to be going for. It's interesting that for VQ, they were happy with that 1v. Precision versus Demon, but Rebel's been adjusting, but even so, they seem like they're sending 2 for the Torque bow, but then they double back to mid and put more mid presence in, and VQ was not ready for that. Rebel 2 rounds in a row has shown 2 different looks.
And that's what you need to do. Did we learn nothing from hunting season?
I was about to bring them up. Yeah, hunting season was, again, guys, if you're not catching Challenger Series on Monday, you need to stop by. I understand it's exciting to watch pros play, and it is, but these Challenger teams have been looking great. If you guys remember Yogurt, by the way, Yogurt is back competing in the Challenger Series on one of the most dominant teams as we can see as of now, and man, they are dominant, especially on execution. Now back into the round number 6. It's going to be a 2v2 this time. Again, a third different look from that of Rebel. They are keeping VQ on their toes, and it is paying dividends. VQ is struggling to keep up.
And that's, VQ, when they had the standard initial, they knew what they were expecting. VQ was dangerous. They were coming away with a lot of quick kills, and now that they are able to show different signs of life, they're able to show different looks. Vanquish hasn't had mid-round answers. That is the thing that a lot of people were worried about after the team change that they made. Losing an IGL like they had, it's one of those situations where you don't really have the same kind of mid-round adjustments that you can make, those micro adjustments that kind of win you rounds, win you games like this. And that's what started to lose them a lot of escalation matches. They started winning a lot when they was just slaying out and they were just killing 5 billion people in a round. But now you're on execution where you only have 1 life to live, every single step counts, and they don't have somebody trying to help them make those mid-round adjustments. That's a very dangerous situation.
Already VQ down a member. Cells will get that Torque bow, so maybe there is a chance yet. But Precision's venturing off into no man's land by himself, leaving his Cells. Cells will take down Crack. He's about to get flanked, though, by Demon. Pulls out the Nasher. This could be massive, actually, if he brings this down to a 1v2, and he just about does it, but Precision going into no man's land, calling by himself. Repositioning, fair enough, but I think he would have been much better off maybe hanging out with the Cells, but I guess you're also worried about the snipe from across the way. Either way, not a clean situation, but was that the right call from Precision?
I hate to put this on you, but without a doubt, I really think you could probably answer your own question, because you know what Precision didn't have, and I'm sure you had to learn all about this in any kind of basic training that you've ever done, Taylor?
Well, you didn't have a gun?
You better not move if you ain't got covering fire.
Oh, shoot.
Ain't nobody was shooting for Precision from where they were. Nobody was stopping the Lancer fire coming down onto Precision. They rained hell on that man.
I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. All right, that's key fundamentals there. 2v4, that looked like it was going to be a great start for VQ, man. Precision and the Cells were hitting those shots, but ultimately, the boys, I believe, a 5 and 8, Demon and Cardia just handled their business. They created that and just enough spacing to avoid that last percentage of damage and ultimately take down Precision and the Cells to bring it to a 4v2, now a 3v2 as we see Identives drop off. Cardia has the Torque, Zysho has the frags, as well as the long shot. So how does this work out? I guess the big question is, where is the overtime hill going to be? Because obviously that's where Rebel is going to want to play because they have the man advantage.
Enemy contact!
I love the creep. He's just creeping around the corner. Zysho's looking for a shot onto anybody. Trying to get that first one to be a headshot like we saw a few rounds ago. The magical headshot by Identives didn't come through. Let's see if Zysho can make one come through for him. There's a body shot on a crack.
Oh, yeah.
There's a not body shot on a crack. Oh, the back end doesn't come through.
Oh, Handles has to go.
Crack played this so good. No, I don't even care that Crack died. Crack played that perfectly.
Dang, man, Rebel turned it up a notch. You know Jets, right? They go to take off. You turn on those afterburners. Tom would know more than me, but Rebel turned on the afterburners, Colin, and they are just taking off into space. Jets can't go into space, but okay, they're a Saturn V rocket. They're just going. They're going for it. I cannot believe how much Rebel West turned up the intensity and how many looks they've shown. I mean, they are really outclassing VQ.
They really are. I mean, again, they're up 5 rounds. They lose 3 straight. And then they decide to just turn it on and just give the absolute business end of the Nasher over to Vanquish or the Lancer, whatever it might have been. Oh, big pull up. He hits a...
What did he hit?
Demon.
Well, Precision got a hit marker.
He shot the torque bow and it stuck into the side of that pillar and he got splash damage onto Crack, I believe it was. But by the way, do you remember before the match started who I said was probably the best player I've seen on this map? Does anybody remember that?
Hey, remind us.
It was.
Yep. I knew the answer. I just wanted you to remind them. Okay. By the way,
I might look like an idiot and I might say I'm an idiot, and I'm an idiot.
Okay. Hey,
oh, wait, what?
Whoa, but check it out. Let me tell you this. Rebel, 6 rounds in a row, Colin. That is a statement. And like I said, heading into this, Rebel was the favorite. We're going to break down this map as well as the other map and then talk about Escalation Vascar when we come back. But the series is tied up 1-1, guys. It's anybody's ball game. Welcome back to Gears Pro League Split 3 Phase 1 Day 8. We're in our final series, and we're tied up 1-1 in our series between Rebel and Vanquish after a dominating performance from Rebel. It started off strong for VQ, Colin. They were leading 3-0. All of a sudden, Rebel said enough is enough. They showed off several different looks. Accel's, his teammate just to his, or excuse me, Accel's Precision, just no competition really to Crack, to Demon, to really anybody that challenged them on that right side for Torque Bow. And Rebel went 6 in a row to close it out 6-3. That is an impressive victory.
It really is, but that's, I mean, we went in saying it that Vanquish was going to have to take that map away from them.
Right.
So we both were favoring Rebel going into that map. So neither of us are really shocked by that. Maybe we're shocked by the 6 rounds in a row. Maybe we're shocked by all the different looks and the different rotations that Rebel were able to give them. But if you just see that it's 6-3, you're like, that's kind of expected, because you may be expected to be like,
if you didn't watch
2 rounds to Rebel, 1 round to Vanquish, 2 rounds to Rebel, and so on and so forth in that passion. But it's just that the impressive part is the 6 rounds in a row.
Exactly.
The thing for me, though, going into this escalation on Vascar, I think we might see Vanquish have to win 2 maps back to back, because Vanquish has been more inconsistent on Vascar to me than Rebel. With Rebel, I know what I'm getting each and every time out on that map. I understand the type of players they are. I understand what their rotations are. With Vanquish, it very much is not a Jekyll and Hyde situation, but I can never truly bet on them winning certain fights time and time again. Whereas I look at Rebel and I say, man, they really struggle on the retake at B. No matter what side they're playing from, they always struggle at it. So I really expect them to play more home to home a lot of the times. Whereas with Vanquish, I'm like, they can win any fight and they can lose any fight. I'm just throwing my hands up hoping, for my prediction's sake, that they win a bunch of fights, but you know how it goes.
And the same thing goes for Fire and Ice. Now, I know Fire and Ice won their matchup today, but I've also feel they've been very inconsistent on Vascar Escalation. Quite honestly, a lot of teams have been inconsistent across the board for all of our Escalation maps, Harbor, Vascar, Training Grounds. But for what it's worth, though, you're right when it comes to VQ. Off the start, 3 down, VQ tried to go for that early push on the B, establish their dominance, but they don't get so lucky, and another domination attempt coming through, and they're going to get it. Rebel played VQ like a fiddle round 1.
They did. They really did. They pulled them into the fights that they thought that VQ got overconfident, and that's kind of the downfall of VQ in a lot of their situations. They feel like they have an advantage somewhere, they immediately press the advantage, and if it's not there, if it doesn't come to fruition quickly, you can really win a lot of rounds, especially on escalation against them, if you can get those kinds of fights to basically be the old switcheroo.
All right, well, let's head into round number 2. Boltox are going to be placed down. Fair enough. Standard as usual. And, you know, one thing to take note of is the fact that Rebel just won that round convincingly, but more importantly, they won on the bad side. Now they're onto their good side, so the chance for them to, you know, obviously take a 2-1 lead is 100% within their grasp, depending on how VQ decides to respond and play this accordingly. You have the 1v1 on the other side. It's going to be between Crack and player 3 of Acels. In the meantime, though, that 3v3 standoff on B going to be taking place, but for VQ's sake, I hope Rebel doesn't collapse as hard and as strong as they did the last round, because if they do, man, they could be in trouble. But look at this rotation from Rebel. Interesting.
Acels is going to push straight up this set of stairs at Crack, trying to get this kill. There's a good second shot out of Acels. A lot of the times we've seen Acels over-rotate that shot, try to swing it too wide, ends up missing it. This is a weird way to lose that fight, but you see how Rebel kind of held sway, held Kingdom over their home. They send Cardia over to C, but it's going to be a 2v1 on this side of the map if Rebel can't get into the fight quick enough. Flash out by Cardia will buy teammates time to get over here to be able to get Lancer help in this fight, but not in time really to stop him from getting killed and cleaned up. Demon, though, winning another fight in the middle of the map against Precision. Handle's trying to rotate around. Good little wrap by him, gets the kill. Acels will call out Identives. There's 2 different 1v1s settled up right now. And with that down, I think Acels needs to go for the help rather than go for just the hill. They are going to have the pinch moments. No, they're not, because he didn't turn it.
Acels is down.
Demon. Yo, Rebel's so good. Rebel is so good at helping each other.
You know, I get burned so many times not voting for Rebel, and I never learn my lesson. I really don't. And this is the thing, I don't learn my lesson because I'm always voting for VQ.
Are you with Rebel like I am with Fire and Ice?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, really. I mean, honestly, just plain and simple, that is the real truth. I always get burned, and I burn myself. You know, I never believe in Rebel's consistency, but granted, they haven't won the series just yet, but they do show some great strength, and when they show that strength, it is tough to bet against them. It really is. But I keep doing it. It is a shame.
Well, here it is. I think it's a 2v3 settled. A 3v3 now. 2v3 again because of that extra kill. Beautiful first shot by Precision. He doesn't get either of those in the area. Now B-Hill's getting decapped. Rebel has to keep this neutralized up. Handle's in a 1v1. This is Handle's specialty. You know that he's going to be able to try to play for this. Stops the triple cap domination. Big shot over the cover, gets the down. Now Identives with the up A gets the kill. Triple cap again trying to be threatened.
Oh.
They can't find a kill to save their life, and I don't even know if it brings them back into this round. I don't know if they win this just getting this hill back. Barely does VQ get that win condition back.
Very, very slim margin, but Rebel's going to try and collapse down. You can see what they're doing. VQ's obviously parked the bus, and rightly so. I mean, I would as well. 15 seconds, that's how long VQ needs to hold on here. And Rebel will make this push. 2-0 lead within their grasp if they can just retake control. They got to get through that Lancer fire, that barrage of bullets. Demon just... Okay, I know VQ wins that. How was Demon allowed to get that chunk, Colin? I mean, he literally ran in front of 3 members from VQ looking directly at him, and Demon is able to get to the hill and get the chunk.
It was almost like Acels was too wrapped up with what was going on, trying to look to the left side, trying to find somebody to shoot. And that's just never really good because Demon, let's say he doesn't get secondarily chunked. Maybe Acels doesn't hit the one-hit quit. Now I think they actually have a chance to get that decap in that situation. So once again, situational awareness usually on point for everybody, for the guys on this map. All 8 of them are very good at it, but just that time almost came back to bite Vanquish in the butt.
All right, let's head into round number 3. Again, that 3v3 battle now about to take place onto B. Last time Rebel doubled back, or at least they did that on the opposite spawn. I don't suspect they'll do it here, and I don't expect VQ to back up either. VQ doesn't play like that. They're going to continue to push forward if they can. Crack versus Acells, who gets the shot. It's Acells, and that's going to open up Charlie. And surely this is going to put a little bit more momentum into VQ's hands to pressure in onto B, but instead, player 4 backs off. And I guess they're going to play for the respawn of Rebels so they can hold their grounds. And Precision is hitting some great shots. Precision gets 3 members, and VQ's going to get a domination. Precision just popped off, Colin. Oh,
but that goes back again to Vanquish having to hit these shots, win these kinds of fights. That's the worrying thing, is a dependency on that. Vanquish, when they win them, they look fantastic. They do what they did last night, where they dominate somebody. They come out hot, they stay hot the whole time, and they just absolutely roll over the competition. They come out tonight, Rebels fighting back in every situation, and it seems like they get spread out, and then Vanquish doesn't always hit those bricks, and they start losing rounds, they start losing maps. I mean, you got to remember, we went to that execution. They lost 3 in a row. Rebel fought right back. They win 6 in a row. So 2 rounds in a row ain't really not much for them to laugh at. Rebel says, look, you won 3 the last time before we stormed back with 6 in a row. You better put us in the ground if you're going to win this.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make this a dominating effort. I mean, you really, really do. I am impressed. Precision just popped off so hard, and VQ needed that. But they're not out of hot water just yet. We're still in the first round, or excuse me, the first half, last round of the first half. This is once again putting in some great work, great Lancer fire. Crack can't get there in time. Demon's going to be finished off. And Crack can't stay there. He knows he's got to just back up at this point, concede that hill, or at least concede the retake from the stairs, though. Identus pops out of nowhere.
Yeah, Identus with a big kill there, a little sneaky kill there. Acells, the last man alive over here at the B hill. He's going to be able to call out that there's 2 players coming at him. They've got to be able to hold on. He's got to be able to play defense for just a minute to try to give his teammates on the opposite side of the map a chance to win a 3v2. He doesn't get either of those kills. He doesn't even get it down, and I love the play by Identus. He's immediately rotating over to the other side of the map. He's trying to get in a position where he could get a quick kill off, try to get any kind of flank to go through. Beautifully done, though, by Vanquish to pressure the numbers out, get at least 1 kill. They're going to have their home back, and they still have at least a number advantage right now on the opposite side of the map if they choose to go 2-2 up. But Vanquish has to worry about that respawn from Rebel. If that respawn comes right back here, it's the exact same situation, but in the opposite favor. Here comes the respawn. It's going to be Crack. I think this fight means a lot less than the other side because this is a 2v1. Demon should be able to go down quite quickly. The 3v3 over this side of the map is definitely the fight to be really taken a lot of note of. Handles tries to bounce up, and there's the flank. There's a beautiful team fight win by Rebel.
It shouldn't be enough to give them the win condition. I think VQ or Rebel should still have it. Or what am I talking about? VQ, my bad. But either way, though, Rebel, good, decent lead, looking to tie up this first half. Off the respawn is going to be Vanquish. We're going to have 2 distinct 2v2 battles, one for Charlie, one for Alpha. And for VQ, they're hoping they win both of them. And Crack and Cardi aren't going to make this push. I guess they don't need to at this point. They know 1 hill is going to be enough as long as they can just keep these players at bay. Here comes the push finally, though. The break is there because Handles dropped. And this is going to be a Rebel round. I don't see VQ getting back into the fight. Player 2 is forced to retreat. He's going to be in a 1v2 himself. Despite the Boltok shots, I don't think it's going to be enough to handle this 1v2. He drops, and Rebel wins the round in a pretty convincing fashion.
Yeah, they win in when I say convincing fashion, again, I harken back. I know I sound like a broken record, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Precision pops off, triple cap domination. They lose a couple of team fights. 2 minutes and 38 seconds later, Rebel comes away with a round, and it never seemed like it was really out of their grasp. Think about just what kind of a monumental difference that is.
What's the play here, Colin? I mean, we're tied up 2-2. Keep things as normal. Get your shocks, get your ensigns. I think that's the route we go.
That's all. I think that's all Vanquish is going to want to do, to be honest with you. Vanquish is going to want to keep this pretty much standard. They don't want to really change this up with so much because it's not like they've dominated the tank fight. If you've been dominating the tank fight, go right ahead. Put the snipe down over there. If you're struggling to win fights around the map, especially team fights, you really don't want to make this more about team fights. You want to keep this as neutral as possible for you to be able to maybe pop off like Precision did. Maybe have somebody else do it for you once in a while. Right now, Vanquish only has 2 players on this side of the map. to try to defend this tank, try to defend their home possibly. Good first down. The flash comes through, and Precision flies at 3 people.
Yeah, Precision is just really trying his heart out. And granted, it doesn't work there. That's unfortunate because now you are giving control back over towards Rebel, and things could get disastrous. Things could have been a lot worse, and things could still be worse if player 7 chooses to go over towards E. Now, great fight though from player 8. Demon handling his business. When Crack ended up falling there was still a chance that Demon loses that fight. VQ has the 2-1 back in their favor despite that great start for Rebel, but Demon doesn't allow that to happen. Now, they do have to focus on getting F back in their control, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Zysho already dropped, and this is going to be the team revive, chain revive, just trying to go through, and these 3 members from VQ are between a rock and a hard place. This is not going to be an easy fight whatsoever. They're throwing their stuns. They're trying to get a bit of a breathing room that they can, but I don't know, will it come through? Maybe. Surprisingly, VQ gets that break. That was just composure, Colin, because that pressure was so consistent, yet they still managed to break through, get over towards Tank, take the members down of Rebel, and get the domination. Rebel, at least in my eyes right there, had all of really the pieces falling together, but ultimately VQ finds a way to retake that control, retake the power.
Well, Vanquish actually played that in basically 3 separate 2v1 situations. One player for Rebel played up on the front square right there that you can see that little box that kind of juts into the F-hill. One player played on the box. He got shot from the left, shot over the top, gets the down. That's a 2v1 won by Vanquish. The next player plays back into that L-shaped cubby. He's 2v1'd. Handles didn't even help with him. Handles was literally just supposed to check the player playing the left side of the tank. That second player from Rebel gets 2v1'd. 2 players dead. The third player right there on the left side of the tank, you saw Handles step out, take 1 shot, hit a full spread, get the down, get the kill. 3 different players from Rebel got 2v1'd right there at the end to help solidify that triple cap domination, and Handles took care of, excuse me, it was Precision taking care of business over at the D-Hill to win that round.
So for Rebel, able to get the pickup onto Crack. That's going to be nice because obviously they're forming, or at least formulating, a 3-man push. A shot from Demon's going to be great. It's going to go ahead and chunk it out. It's going to separate the Cells and Zysho. I believe another Shock is there. So Zysho's kind of pinned up in that Venn diagram of what it is, of course, Shocks. The Cells forced to rotate around, just maintain his life as much as possible. Double back, trying to get those eliminations. Not going to be able to do so. Demon has been playing very well for what it's worth. I know his stat line is not as impressive as maybe some others, but I feel like Demon is getting a lot of value with his life and providing a ton of value naturally for the boys of Rebel. VQ fighting to stay alive. Precision gets the touch, and Demon once again clutching up. Great fight for him. You'll have that fight up top. Looks like it might go well for Rebel, and if it does, obviously this is going to be a domination, or this could be a domination shortly, depending on how this next fight goes on E.
But you see here, it's going to be a 2v1 on this side of the map. Handles has to try to get it down on either of these players to try to keep it alive. But here comes the rotational flank. Player 8, that's going to be Demon, getting the decap at E. Now the triple cap domination ticking on through. The 3 players from Vanquish have a big 3v2 to win at their own home hill. Precision, I believe he got it down, but got traded out. There's a big kill by Zysho. The other player is going to push straight forward over to F, but I don't believe he has the extra help behind him. It's going to be coming a little bit late. Zysho and his Cells last alive for their squad on the map until everybody comes back off of respawn. I think if you're player 1 Precision, you got to go back over to the E-Hill. You got to leave them to play defense at your home. You'd have beaten Cardia over there to be able to get at least the decap to put the pressure back onto the side of Rebel. Now you're just basically stouted up. Beautiful shot by yourselves to get down to the meat shield. Crack is trying to escape, but a 2v1 comes through. Beautiful rotation by Zysho to get the Lancer shots out, and now Handles is going to probably take this 1v1 unless he knows that they get the win condition back, and then this will be a very precarious position for Rebel.
Well, no win condition just yet. Precarious situation is going to be avoided momentarily. Rebel will be able to break out, and they're going to do that standard 2-2 split, right, to kind of spread themselves across the map, get all lanes. 30 seconds is a long time to hold on to one hill. VQ, they've got time to play with. Not an eternity, but they do have some time. They've got to continue to close that buy script and push up. This is a very important round. If they take this, they will lead 4-2 and be on map point. An opportunity to lead 2-1 is there, and you mentioned how important it is for them to lead. Obviously, at this point, though, just mere seconds separate the two. Rebel does sneak a player over. That's going to be Cardia. He managed to get over to the hill, so this fight is kind of really null and void. Not going to amount to much depending. And yeah, he's also going to take down player 4 of Handles. That's 4 out of the way for VQ. Rebel will hold on to the round and take it. And VQ tried. They really did. But when that win condition didn't shift back over towards VQ's favor, Colin, VQ knew, okay, well, we have a lot more work still to do. Rebel understood their position. They bunkered down and they made it happen.
3-3 tie ball game. Best of 3 now for the last 3 rounds. They try to take a 2-1 lead in this situation. I really love the fight out of both of these teams. Nobody giving up an inch. Cardia is going to probably upgrade their retro over to an Incendiary. I don't see the 60-second retro coming out from that squad. I would like to see it come out from Vanquish. They answer right back, but again, I just think Vanquish could have found more value out of a 60-second retro for themselves, especially because it's not just a one-time use thing. And you are taking it over to E, hoping to get an initial kill. You're hoping to get that big first kill to open things up to be able to cappy. But look at the way that Rebel kind of read the situation. Player 8, Demon, saw that it was only one player playing back, so he's going to play over to E. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 3-3 tied up on the opposite side, and you actually see a cell start to rotate through the map. He's been called out as well. Beautiful job by Crack. That's the awareness I talked about in the beginning sides of this discussion. Crack, with just great awareness, puts his team in a good position to win it. Incendiary out over the top, flash out from Precision. But he's now trapped, ladies and gentlemen, on the wrong side of the tank. He gets it down. He gets help from the middle, though. Zysho, that is twice in 2 rounds. Zysho has saved people's lives.
Yeah, and you know, the value, by the way, now it's a bit too early. It's a bit too early. You haven't won the series. You haven't even won this map just yet. You put yourself on map point, though. You show that love. You kind of awaken the beast, if you will. Which, just to your point, Colin, about Zysho, again, I love him being added to this team. 13 assists, by the way. Really leading the charge there, being that support player, and I think guiding the troops accordingly. And you can really tell he's been instrumental in VQ's success as of recently. Just overall enjoy watching him. Now, you said VQ is going to be happy, but they do place the M-bar. Now, granted, it's because they do already have their instance and the shock. Now, Rebel can throw really a wrench in the setup and throw something mid. We've only seen that a handful of times, but we'll go ahead and throw 9 rounds on the M-bar. 9 rounds for the M-bar, Colin.
That's a lot of shots to be able to take. This is going to boil down to an initial team fight. Vanquish will have the elevated side of the map. I'd like, maybe we have a, yep. Got one for them. Boo.
Just when things were getting good, we get the 9 shots for the M-bar. We get a game pause. Now, hopefully he doesn't lag all the way out. We're just going to get like a stalemate restart or something, but we'll see what takes place, man. We'll see what takes place. You know, we haven't had this in a while. Story time with Colin, okay? We should go back to the old default, baby, because
the old
defaults, all right? So let's get a little story time with Colin going, all right? So, man, what do we even talk about? There's so much to look at here on Vaskar. I guess more importantly, location-wise, where are we at?
Well, Vaskar is a part of the United Independent Republics. They fought against the Coalition of Ordered Governments, something I think can always be talked about. This is one of my favorite little tidbits to remind people. The UIR is actually a bunch of independent free peoples. They're a bunch of democracies. They're a bunch of countries just trying to keep themselves from being forced into a different society. Vaskar was kind of the last bastion of the UIR as well. They were the last hope for the UIR in the war against the Coalition of Ordered Governments. And this is also the same country that the Hammer of Dawn was developed and thus stolen from the UIR, which tipped the scales in the favor of the Coalition of Ordered Governments, because once they had that Hammer of Dawn technology, I mean, we all know what happened then. Just the threat of a satellite that could glass the planet made the UIR surrender and come to peace terms and basically join up with the Coalition of Ordered Governments. It wasn't long after that that Emergence Days happened. So the peace was very short-lived on this planet. I just always find that interesting that a lot of people do not ever find that out or realize it. If you have to play through the campaigns and you have to really learn and study the way the Coalition is set up, you're actually playing for all intents and purposes, and I know they make a joke about it in Gears 5, one of the kids in one of the outsider posts, you're playing and rooting for the fascist government the entire series.
I think here, you mentioned something that was quite interesting to me. The Hammer of Dawn. How big is the Hammer of Dawn? Like, how can
Hammer of Dawn is not
up and still that?
When you say it's not really the weapon, it's the technology. Here in Vaskar, they actually have they have the satellite technology to launch them into space, and they also have the technology for the targeting beacons and being able to use them to glass whatever part of the planet they want to. So it was less about stealing like a satellite and more just about stealing the technology.
Okay. All right. Let's see what's going to happen here. VQ. Obviously, Zycho is back into the fold. You'd love to see it. We'll continue this round. It's obviously VQ still going to be at map point. The battle's going to be at a bit of a stalemate. I know this is awkward for all players who just kind of pinned up in this corner to the left. Not something that they obviously want in this moment in time, but VQ will, in fact, start off with the 2-1 hill advantage. That's going to force Rebel's hand now to make a push onto, I mean, honestly, any hill that they see fit. And it's going to be tough for 7 and 5, Cardia and Identas. Even though Identas does have that M-bar, but if they do push in, it's going to be a bit of a mismatch. But from the middle. Oh, no, Identas, you took down Crack, and Crack was your X-Factor coming from mid.
Identative's trying to get the shots off over the top, gets full redded, backs up over here to a teammate, trying to escape, trying to get behind the tank. Beautiful job. You can see him still trying to make shots happen. One side's closed off by that incendiary. Handles goes for a little bit of a bot walk to be able to get that kill. Doesn't get it to go. And now Zycho catches himself because he's between an incendiary and the rest of the team of Rebel. 3 down and dead. Acels last alive.
That is heartbreaking, though, that Identives connects on the Crack. Again, Crack coming from mid, Colin. He could have played such a big role, and he did take down one of the players from VQ, and the opportunity for him maybe to take down more was there. Regardless, though, I guess it's not the end of the world. Rebel does have a decent, point deficit, but they're still in it. They've got the 2-1, and they also still have the M-bar with 2 more shots. Now it's all about playing D. VQ is going to be 3 strong, looking to press into 3 members for F. You might have Zycho force the issue onto Demon for Delta, but that's still yet to be seen. I guess they're going to go ahead and do that and then pull an audible and go through mid. Zycho now in a 1v2. It goes from a 1v1 to a 1v2 to a 1v3 as Identus snipes him from cross map.
As the Identives got the snipe off, they decap the home hill of Vanquish. Now that the home hills have been traded off, Rebel does have the point advantage now, and they have the win condition. You can see Handles trying to make a miracle happen here with the snub in hand. Beautiful shot! That was the 3rd down and death for Demon as he gets that last one to connect, get that shot on. D-Hill is about to get 2v1. The breaks actually help Vanquish right now because not giving them any chance to get any points is going to keep Vanquish in a position where they could win this map and round right here, right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good spot, or at least it is a great spot for the boys of VQ. He is going to be decapped. Shouldn't matter all that much, though. VQ understands we just need 1 hill, and D is going to be it, and Handles is letting you know the round is over with. The head stomp. Cardia takes him down, but it doesn't matter. VQ is going to take this map. They're going to take at least a lead in the series, 2-1, and that much closer to closing the series out. Let's see if they can do it. Control Training Rounds is coming up next, but at least right now VQ can breathe easy because they get the W.
They do get the W on the back of that man right there. Sells Precision, my man. 15 kills, only 1 assist, man. Pull a Lancer. Help a friend.
Man, Precision, though.
I mean, he did go nutty. 3 of those 15 kills came on a triple cap domination. So he had he was like 12-1 outside of that one triple cap. All right, he was like 12-1.
I think Precision just doesn't care about anybody else. He just head down. I see you. I'm going for you. That's what I'm doing at this point, because Precision is just annihilating anybody that he comes into contact with, like the Hammer of Dawn. Right, he's turning everybody to glass and then shattering them at the end. Hey, we're all learning something.
That's what all that black glass is from.
I like it. I think Vaskar visually is a very kind of very unique map in terms of how it looks. You can definitely tell some real stuff went down here, brother.
I want you to think about this. You want to talk about how unique Vaskar is as a map? That whole entire place used to actually be oceanfront.
What? Now it's a desert.
That's what happens.
When the Hammer of Dawn comes down.
You superheat the surface. What else is going to happen?
Can't even get a drink of water over there, man. It's so dry. It's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie to you, dog.
Well, fair enough, man. I'm not saying VQ superheated their competition of Rebel, but at least they get the victory. Now I'm curious though, because we don't see Training Grounds controlled too often, as opposed to the other maps. We just quite honestly don't. Like, we see Regency all the time. We've been seeing Reactor more often than not now coming, kind of coming back into the rotation. Training Grounds, though, we don't see it too often. And I think you made a good point, too, as to why we don't see it as often as the other maps now during the Challenger Series, Colin.
Well, it's also, I think, because of the fact that challengers maybe are a little bit less organized. And when it comes to pros, when you're that organized, when you play a map like Training Grounds where you know the spawns, you know the rotation of the hills, you know how big it is, it's incredibly hard to break into hills because of the distance you have to travel and the kills you have to get, then getting into the hill. It's almost like a 3-step process. It is such a work to just get from one side of the map to the other to be able to get the kills, then try to. I mean, especially imagine some of the long spawn outs on Training Grounds. One of the longest spawns I think you can get actually is if you have control over a hill that is spawning at the first half home hills. You know what I'm talking about for escalation? Those two bottom sides on either side of you.
Yeah, I call them.
You can actually spawn behind the heaven on the opposite side of the map. You literally just basically spawn out, like right at spawn, and it's basically about a 10-second run. Like if you just head down across the map, and you can't really just head down because you might be snuck. Somebody might just be waiting for you in the wings. It's like a full 10 seconds to get back into position. So that's why you don't see Training Grounds a lot. It is a hole.
Yeah, it's a punishing map, isn't it? It's kind of like Regency with how long that it takes to get back into a fight, re-engage, especially if you take a point deficit. I think Training Grounds is just as brutal, probably one of the most punishing maps that we have, in my opinion, because of how the points are kind of separated. Because, that first hill is like whatever, right? It doesn't play that much of an impact. But that second hill, that third hill is where we see teams garner a massive lead, or at least have the potential. I think more often than not, you'll see a team come out of those second and third hills with a decent lead, as opposed to the scoreline being neck and neck. It has been getting closer, in all fairness, over time as the teams kind of, really adjust to what Training Grounds is all about, control anyways. Because we know from Escalation, right? We still play it on Escalation, but for what it's worth, though, Training Grounds, most punishing map, most unforgiving map, without question. It's going to be interesting, too, because this is the only map that also features a drop shot, which has been playing more of an impact as of recently, too. And it's funny because when the drop shot was in Escalation, I would see a lot of players with it, but I swear, I don't know what it is about control. I don't know if it's, the just constant respawns. Maybe it's just the positioning of it, but teams connect more often than not with the drop shot, and it's just as deadly as it ever was. VQ, though, flawless start. Very well done. Demon, he's going to have those frags, but already the drop shot's going to be put into great use from Handles, and hey, there it is. VQ has a chance to take a good lead off the start.
They can get at least probably 15 to 20 points. They get it down on the opposite side of the map on Crack, and Crack is just still crawling around. Beautiful rotation by Zysho back into that fight to be able to get that kill, help out his teammate. Big long bounce out of Acels, gets him into the angle, gets another kill. Like you said, beautiful initial for them. They win back-to-back fights. They are able to settle up here at this first hill, and they're also going to be able to start stopping the over-rotation from Rebel toward this next one.
Revive me!
All right, this rotation is going to be big. It really is. I mean, again, this is first hill is kind of like whatever. For VQ, honestly, I tip my hat to them for getting as many points as they did, because now they're already set up for the new hill. So they just got the best of both worlds. They got a phenomenal start. They also are setting up very nicely for the second hill. They can get, I mean, a massive lead in this point in time. That was an important kill, though, for... Oh, my Precision continues to do it. Now, I said he was like the Hammer of Dawn, but, like, I don't know if he really is, but, like, this guy continues to pop off. He is the X factor tonight for VQ.
Without a doubt, Precision is that guy. He has continued to put his best foot forward and help his teammates in every situation and setting. They win another initial. They get another couple of fights. And do you remember right before the match started, I said you can't just go across the middle of the map because you might get snuck?
Yep.
Somebody got snuck right there. Gonna go ahead and say it. He might as well have had a prison shank. Snuck.
I mean, Rebel at this point, prison shanks aside, brother, like, they're going to try and get this break. If they're unsuccessful, VQ is going to be, leading 100-1. I think they're going to be leading 100-1 before Rebel even goes in and contests this hill. And that's what I was saying about Training Grounds and how punishing and unforgiving this map can be. That was just, the way Handles just took down Crack, I mean, I barely even noticed it. Crack's life flashed before his eyes. It had to have. There's no way.
They got the drop shot. Precision has the drop shot. On the side of the map,
and that's the third time VQ's got the drop shot since it's been up.
But this is like, he's going to go down. If they can get him out, even if he has to use it right here, this gets them into the next hill. Yep. This could be the thing that breaks them into the next hill and stops Rebel from even getting
that's Demon too.
That's a big kill. Smoke's going to be thrown deep. Or some flash, thrown deep. Crack is going to be on the left. They kill one off.
Oh, good job.
There's a double kill. They get at least two.
Yeah.
Handles is now pushing up, though, with Zysho. Identives cannot go down right here. Big shot down to the bottom of that cubby. Handles and Zysho both go down. This is a good little hold to start this round off with, or start this hill off with for Rebel.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a must hold, right? Because you can't allow VQ to take any more of a lead when you're down at 0 points. Like, it's just not feasible, right? It's so hard to gain momentum on Training Grounds. Granted, it's still early. Rebel can absolutely gain that momentum. This is another tough hill to break. Now, Rebel has control of this hill, and VQ is going to have to fight tooth and nail to get in. Now, the smokes are going to be in the back, the flashes in the front. I know you love to call that out as kind of like the mullet strategy, but VQ does get the break for what it's worth. Now, there's going to be a couple stragglers from Rebel, but I guess no match for Precision. Identiv is the last one up. He should be able to pick that elimination. He does, and Rebel retakes control. So fair enough. Identiv knows this is my moment. The veteranship needs to shine through, and it is. He's trying, I mean, his heart out, brother, to make this map his, to at least garner a comeback for Rebel.
And this is a big fight right here for Zysho because it gives him a pinch and it gives him a chance to set up for that next hill. You can see as it pops up, Zysho might try to go for a walk it to him. Big back A comes out. He actually takes the cover after taking that first shot. He's going to finish him on. He's going to let him bleed out, actually. I like that play call. Make sure they have maybe one more second before he comes back into the map. Now Demon is back up, but Identiv is already down. Drop shot over the top gets cracked. Precision will be in the hill. They need to call out this player on the back cubby. That's Cardia. They don't have anybody really there to lancer him out until finally, I believe it was Handles getting into the lane to get the shots off onto him. They've struggled a little bit in this, and they've struggled a little bit in this map thus far. The first two hills, they have a chance because this hill can be attacked from a couple different angles.
Sure.
Just think that this is the angle right here that they need to worry about. Precision not going down here, though, allows them to sit in God spot and just shoot people. Yeah. They needed to push God spot first.
I agree. I've seen more teams more often than not hurt from that God spot. I mean, obviously escalation, right? When you have the neutral there for Bravo, God spot is influential, but more so on I think it's more punishing being in God spot or having an enemy in that God spot when you're trying to retake this hill. It's so, I mean, that's just one more factor that you just have to get through. I know this hill, it can seem very open. It can seem as if like, wow, how can you get a lot of points from this one? And I guess it's the same thing from District on Bandstand. It's like, well, you just go through mid. Not the case. There are so many corners where you can hide God spot being one of them that, again, it's a hill where if you don't know how to attack it, if you don't attack it accordingly, Colin, you can be severely punished. And VQ just punished Rebel once again. That's what the third hill that Rebel has almost been virtually unsuccessful at even breaking, or I don't even know, getting 20 points off. And they didn't even get 20 points off that last hill.
This is one of those situations where Vanquish, they're just, I don't want to say better. They probably might be more experienced at this map, but they have started off hot. They've been hitting those shots, and they've really kept Rebel from getting into a position to be able to retake a lot of these hills. They're getting downs and damage like 20, 30, 40 yards out away from the hill, forcing people from Rebel to just fly in like Crack did. Gets 2 shot down, and now the other 3 players are trapped in a cubby corner. 3rd down and out for Demon, and now any more downs for Cells could find him with a quick double kill. His teammates are right there for the cleanup, though. Up over 200 points, 85 away from getting a 3-1 victory.
I do want to say, though, looking at my stats, because I was kind of remembering in it, watching this match kind of, brought back memories of Rebel during like the first week where they lost on Training Grounds. I think it was the first map played for Split 3. and Rebel was playing against the opponents of Dream Conspiracy, and I was really impressed with Rebel at that time because they're in scrims. They were looking great on Training Grounds, but then come Pro League day one, map number 1 against Dream Conspiracy, they lost 300 to 129. You then go a couple weeks forward. They have to play against Team Queso. They do beat them 300 to 133. Things are looking up for them, but then you keep going down the list, and all of a sudden now they start taking some massive L's. One of those being Pittsburgh Knights, who have obviously had their struggles as of recently. But the point that I'm getting at, when Rebel loses on Training Grounds, they lose severely. I'm talking 300 to 120 something, and this could very well be their worst loss yet. So Rebel, something just isn't clicking on this map. Something isn't working, and I don't know what it is per se. Maybe it's, you know, I guess I can pick and pull. Like, obviously they're not prioritizing rotations. That was something that hurt them in the first time I watched them play on this map. They're not breaking the hills accordingly. They're losing positioning on hills where, like, for example, that God spot on that neutral hill, or excuse me, on that hill on the left side. But overall, Rebel on this map, when they lose badly.
And now Precision gets that kill. They clean up the last few seconds of this hill. Just stay there. Keep mounting up the points. 45 seconds to go. They could actually get up to the 290 area if they were to stay here the rest of the time. Smokes out. Every single second matters for Rebel. They got to start getting these neutralizations. They got to be able to break these hills to an extent where you can't just sit in there, but pretty unsuccessful for one side. And now they're going to push in one at a time from the opposite over where that drop shot spawns. Both of them fall as well. We are down to 31 seconds. Execution coming out from Acels. Big finish there in the back hallway. Steps back into the hill. 20 seconds left. Can get him to 290 still in this matchup.
Look, when the round is live, because you don't get any breaks in control, albeit if somebody lags out, the team who, you know, obviously has the better advantage chooses to stop playing. That's their decision. When you see an execution taking place on control when the round is live, you can not necessarily clean it up and say it's over with, but you know which team is feeling themselves, and clearly VQ with this lead. I mean, the love never ends, brother. They just keep it going, but they're within the right to do so. They have been untouchable. Again, Rebel, just something doesn't work on this map, Colin.
I ain't no snitch, but I sure hope Acels girl doesn't start getting jealous of all the love my man is showing to everybody else.
Whoa! Why you even got to bring that to the table, man? Why you put my man on blast?
My man, because he's giving it to everybody, dog. That's a public safety health. That's a public health and safety issue at this point, all right? Somebody got to be
left
worried.
the game. Oh, no. That's tough. That's tough. Demon left the game. What does Colin have to say about that? That's tough. Well, hey, let me go ahead and close it out. VQ closing the series 3-1 over that of Rebel, and they continue to rise up the leaderboards. Very well done. Training Grounds Control needs to be in their arsenal, Colin, because the way they just played that, picture perfect.
Picture's worth 10,000 words. A quitter is worth nothing.
Dang.
I don't like quitters. I hate it.
Colin is the hammer of dawn right now. I know. Well, let me say this.
Like, it's not even for the stats. It's not even for this. It would be like
it's for the stats for me.
Okay, well, it's the concept. It is the concept of quitting on your team.
I know. It's the stats for me. If you guys don't know, I do the stats, obviously with the help of production, every once in a while. But with that being said, man, when you leave the game like you do, when you leave the game like Identives and I believe Demon just did, it makes it so hard for me to have to go back and then count how many kills that you got afterwards and how many deaths did you get. I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to get punished because you did that. You might get some additional deaths on your radar. And I know for Identitas and Demon, they might not want that, but I'm just saying, look, please stay in the game. We already know you're losing. We already know it was a beatdown. Just show your stats. Who cares? I mean, honestly, who really cares? But I digress. Ink, talk to your boys. Rebel, though, I think they played a good series. They really did. But Training Grounds Control, again, I'm just going to say it. Something doesn't work on this map for them. It just doesn't. It's no disrespect. But, when they do lose on this map, Colin, they lose in a big way. And I think this is their third loss they've taken on Training Grounds in Pro League.